We're here in Manchester for Accountex North, and I'm joined by Steve Cox from Iris. Hi, Steve.
Hello, Tom. How you doing?
Very well indeed, thank you. So you're going to be speaking later on this afternoon. Your talk is called The Climatic Flip,
Yeah.
So in terms of digital. Can you tell us a bit more about what you're going to be saying?
Yeah, certainly can. So we see the industry at the moment as going through this huge transformation. Legislation's coming on, the use of technology is hugely changing as well, and we see the traditional practice becoming much more of a standard piece, but actually it's this new breed of the next generation of accountants that are flipping the market on its head right now. With everything focusing on digital from a GDPR point of view, MTD, but also from the way that clients want to interact with it, it's meaning that the traditional accountant is having to evolve really quickly to play catch up with what's going on with this new breed of accountant, and the market is going through this flip process. It's not just that really as well, you look at the social aspects of it, and suddenly you've just seen this new generation of accountants coming up, the millennials, and they're really focused on the technology aspect of what they do to move away from the standardised processes.
So, in terms of a sort of standard accountant who perhaps has been vaguely interested in all things digital, watched other firms do it, but a bit worried about how their clients are going to take it, etc. What sort of steps would you recommend they take?
So I think the biggest problem accountants have got right now is that first step. It's that kind of digital leap of faith that we like to describe, and trying to work out how am I going to get all of my processes to work in a digital environment, because you get the productivity by doing everything. If you just do one aspect of it, fine, you're going to start with that and try and branch out, but you've got to think about the bigger picture. So the way that we try to talk to accountants is think about that journey you want to take your client on. The first bit is your vision. What's your digital vision for your accountancy practice, and what's your vision for your clients, and how are you going to interact with them? Once you've got that vision, you need to build a plan of how you're going to do that. Look for the first client that you're going to go and take on this journey. Work with them hand in glove on taking them through this digital experience. Once you've got it worked out for one client, you can take that en masse and work with others. However, it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. It's going to have to be evolving constantly. So don't write down a plan and then say, this is how we're going to go and do it. Think about it as an ever-evolving beast, and you're just trying to constantly change it and tweak to work with every client that you go through. Break it down into segmental parts and drive that forwards, but ultimately look for the different pieces of software that are going to help you with that. You want good staff as well to help you do that through, to try and bring the best of every aspect of what you do together to take someone through that digital journey, because it is very much a case of how that experience goes for your client will set out how your digital journey goes as a practice.
And obviously there are a lot of opportunities around digital. There are also some threats. Iris have obviously built yourselves on a bedrock of being the sort of go-to place for compliance, as it were. Now, you built a sort of solid practice suite, as it were, and but there seem to be a lot of players sort of moving in on the market at the moment. How would you respond to some of these digital threats that are emerging for Iris?
It's a really interesting point, and in fact, I love the fact that the industry has gotten so active with kind of competition for Iris. We are a suite vendor. There are a number of suite vendors available. There are some that focus on a particular market, and so the ones that focus on a market are best of breed, and that's brilliant. And as long as they build out the connectivity, then they'll do quite well. The benefit of being with Iris is we've got that end-to-end journey, the complete process of bringing a customer on board and doing the prospecting, the marketing for them, all the way through to dealing with their compliance and filing to the government, and out the other side of how to build a better business for your client. I don't think any other vendor here can say that they can do that complete end-to-end digital journey, and for us that's what's been so important. You mentioned about our compliance, and that is the bedrock of what we do, because for accountants, if you can't do compliance, then you're going to struggle, right? That is your bread and butter. It's why we always focus on the compliance bit, and in fact last week we announced a press release that we were the first vendor to do the complete MTD journey through HMRC's government services. So actually we're kind of constantly building upon the compliance aspect of what we do, but thinking further afield of that, the bigger picture of how do you interact with your client in this digital world and make it easy so that you do it once within Iris and you can work with no matter what client.
Fascinating, brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, Steve.
No problem at all, Tom.